Welcome everybody to today's webinar. Today we talk about a combination of tools that we very often encounter in projects, which is Jira from Atlassian and Codebeamer from formerly Inkland, now PTC. The agenda, you can see it in the screen, is roughly, we will do an introduction. I will do an introduction of Nanga Systems very briefly, of the two speakers, of Manuel and myself. Then we will talk about Jira and Codebeamer, very basic introduction, because I think most of the people in the call already know this. And then we come to synchronization challenges. There's solutions on the market that can be used. We have heard a lot of feedback that things are missing, and we will address them today and show you how our synchronizer works, the Nanga synchronizer. We will do a step-by-step synchronization setup, and we will show you how effective error handling works. And at the end of the session, we will have question and answers. You can post your questions in the question and answer tab. There's on Zoom that offers a window for this. If I can answer anything while Manuel is talking, I will do so. If not, we have enough time at the end to answer the questions and discuss them. Good. So who are we today? So let me start with Manuel. Manuel is a colleague of mine, good colleague of mine. He's the development lead at Nanga Systems. Comprehensive know-how and expertise in coordination of development activities. So he coordinates a team of 10 to 12 people that are doing development for us for solutions as the one we show today, the Nanga Jira Codebeamer integration. Myself, I've got a few more years of experience already, as you can probably see regarding the beard colors that we have. I've been in this business for 22 years. My main focus was always application lifecycle management and model-based systems engineering with two companies, MKS and PTC. And for 3 years now, I'm part of the Nanga Systems team. 2 words or 3 words about Nanga Systems, so you know who you're talking to or who you're looking at or listening to. Nanga has today is the 10th anniversary. So Nanga has been founded in 2014 by our managing director, Dominik Kassel. We have 60 plus employees climbing, and also we have a customer base of about 350. Also that number is steadily increasing. And we are distributed all over the world, almost. We have a strong presence in Germany, in Stuttgart, that's the headquarter. We have maybe other offices in Sweden. We have one in the UK, we have one in Austria and in Japan. They are all sales and services offices. And the specific office that we have, or the people that work for us in the Ukraine, Manuel is managing those, and those are developers basically developing the solutions, and one of them is the one that we present today. What does Nanga do? We are a full service provider, so we offer consulting services from really early consulting of customers to say, okay, we have a project, we need some infrastructure, we need solutions for this. We can do the consulting. We also do, for example, carve-outs of larger companies that carve out smaller parts of their business and consult them in the infrastructure and the tools they should be using for the specific task. We do resell software. We resell software, and you can see all the partners at the bottom. So PTC is our main partner that we worked with. We are working together with Liber and Sparks Enterprise because that's mostly always a part of an infrastructure when it comes to research and development. Atlassian tools, this is the topic today. So Jira, Codebeamer, Jira, Confluence, Bitbucket, and such like tools. We sell them, resell them, and service them. And we have a small solution, it's Smartsheet. It's a project management solution that we focus very heavily on. And of course, when it comes to full-blown implementation of agile frameworks, like for example, SAFe, we work together with Apptio, who has now been recently acquired by IBM. So that's the solutions and the partners we work with. And for all those, we do consulting and software reselling. We do license management and also support. Nanga Products is the third pillar that Nanga uses or supports, which is software development. Sometimes it starts with a small implementation on a project base. And when you see large customer demand, we make a product out of it, we productize it, and we sell it just like the one that we see today. Who are our customers? Is a wide bandwidth of customers. It's always software somehow involved. Some are security relevant, some are less stringent in their processes, and we can basically consult and sell and offer the right software for all of these situations. If there's a need for discussing with other customers of ours, please approach us and we can happily set up a reference call, for example. So just a few words for Jira. What's Jira? It's a defect, it's a task, it's a change management tool. It's very, very popular. It's very widespread. So I don't think I have any customer that doesn't use Jira or anything of Atlassian in their portfolio. But Jira also has limitations. So when it comes to security relevant development and processes need to be implemented very strictly and stringent, that's sometimes where you hit some boundaries within the Atlassian world. And that's when people turn to, for example, a solution like Codebeamer. And Codebeamer is an ALM solution. ALM stands for Application Lifecycle Management, and it focuses on requirement management, on risk management, test management. It supports DevOps. It supports agile engineering on the team level, software engineering, obviously, and of course, configuration management, and very important, strategic reuse. And all this supported through different solution templates. So if you're, for example, from the automotive industry, we have a solution template we can implement on top of Codebeamer that enables you to do ASPICE in automotive or ISO 26262 development. The same applies for medical, aerospace, defense, and other areas or other businesses. And I think the challenge today, and that's what Merlin is going to talk about, our customers mostly have both solutions in place. So what do I need solution one for? What do I use the other solution for? And if I need both, how do I get them together? So this is the point where I hand over to Manuel. Let me quickly stop my sharing. So the stage is all yours, Manuel. Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, maybe one additional comment. I forgot to mention that the part from Manuel has been recorded because we didn't know if he was able to attend today, the meeting. He was on sick leave. He made it to the office. So what you see now is a recording. And at the end, we will then basically answer your questions with real people and not just a recording. So Manuel, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Lars, for the introduction and also for the brief overview about Codebeamer and Jira. Now we have seen two tools, but yeah, in real life, there is a question. So, how to decide which tool to use? But is it really a decision? So normally, why decide for one? Yeah, you can use both together. But for this, you need an integration. But integrating tools, especially such complex tools like Jira and Codebeamer, will lead to some synchronization challenges. And this is the topic of the next slide. So I want to give you a small overview about challenges you might face when you deal with integrations between Jira and Codebeamer. And yeah, the first big challenge is you can have different data structures and models, or there are different data structures. So you have different fields. You can have different steps in your workflows. You must map these things. And yeah, the solution is your integration needs a good mechanism to create field mappings and also data transformations. And yeah, this ensures that all relevant data is synchronized in a good way. The next challenge is bidirectional synchronization. In the first step, this sounds easy. So you want to have your data from Jira and Codebeamer and the other way around. But yeah, that's not so easy when you look in changes which are taken simultaneously in both systems. So imagine the user one added a ticket or a user story in Codebeamer and the same or referenced user story in Jira at the same time. Then you will have some conflicts there. And in general, you can have, yeah, I would say, different synchronization rules. You can have a scheduled approach and also an event-based approach. And you must deal with conflict resolution. And yeah, this is a big challenge when it comes for integrations. The next challenge you might face is performance and scalability. So synchronizing small trackers or small projects is mostly not a problem. But when you have big projects with many user stories and items and so on, then performance could be a point or a challenge for you. And as we already heard, you have event-based or scheduled synchronization. And yeah, this is very tricky when you have scheduled synchronizations. Then after each interval, the whole project must be synchronized and not only the changes. So in this case, an event-based synchronization is mostly better, but yeah, it depends on your installation. The next challenge is the complexity of configuration. Yeah, so as we heard, you need field mappings and other configurations like transformations. And yeah, the initial setup of integration or synchronization can be very complex and time consuming. It requires in-depth knowledge of both systems and also the interfaces. And yeah, a good solution for this is to have a good designed interface for your integration. Best would be a middleware solution, and then it's a bit more easily to configure the integration. Now we have heard about these challenges, but the big question is how to address these challenges. So there are different solutions on the market. Today we will show you two of them. So first of all, the built-in solution from Codebeamer. And the other one is our Nanga Jira Codebeamer connector. And in the next slides I will give you an overview of both tools. And then we will jump into one of them and I will show you this tool live. So the architecture for the Codebeamer built-in solution is directly embedded in Codebeamer. You don't need an external server for this integration, no extra plugin, but you need an ALM license to get it working or to configure it. Okay, the next one, architecture for the Jira Codebeamer connector. This is based on a middleware which is implemented with Java 17 and Spring Boot. You need a PostgreSQL database for it, or it will be installed during the setup, and you can run it on Windows, Linux, and also on Docker. So we are Docker ready. This is a big advantage when it comes to scaling and so on. How does the synchronization works? So for the Codebeamer Jira integration, the built-in solution, this is a scheduled approach. So when we have a look on the diagram, so when the user updates an element in Codebeamer and maybe do a second update of the same item, and we didn't synchronize in between these two edit events, then you might face data loss. The solution could be to increase the synchronization interval or to minimize it. So not every 5 minutes, for example, you can also synchronize every minute. But this is a big performance issue when you set shorter intervals. The Jira Codebeamer connector from Nanga is event-based. So this means all events are registered and will be processed. So when the user edit an item, the plugin in Codebeamer just send an update or edit event to the middleware, and there the further processing is done. So the middleware requests the item from Codebeamer, and then some mapping or transformation is done, and then the update event on the Jira side will be executed. And if a second event comes directly after the first one, both are registered in the middleware, so no events are lost. And a big advantage of the event-based approach is also that the synchronization load is moved to the middleware. So your Codebeamer or Jira instances just sends events, and the transformation and so on will be managed by the middleware. And yeah, this is good for scaling. Yeah, when it comes to configuration, the built-in solution, there are only one-to-one synchronization supported. You cannot create filtering for your synchronizations. The configuration is part of trigger configuration. You cannot configure the synchronization if the trigger is part of a branch or working set. And to do the configuration, you need project admin permissions. For Jira Codebeamer connector, the configuration is done in the web interface from the middleware. You can configure one-to-end synchronizations. You can define synchronization rules. So as I said, it's in the web view of the middleware. It's centralized, so you can configure the mapping and so on from the Jira side and also the Codebeamer side directly in this middleware. And no admin permissions are required. So you can add different users to the middleware, and they can create and update the mappings or configurations there if necessary. Yeah, then the mapping for the built-in solution, you can just map a Teams component version release, and it's more or less hard-coded. Then you cannot define wildcard, regex or other logic in your value mappings, so it's a very simple mapping. No custom fields. It's not completely true. You can set some custom fields on the Jira side, but the configuration is not so easy to do this. And there is no automatic type conversion. On the Jira Codebeamer connector, the mapping is very easy. It's you have a good assistance from the user interface, so all drop-downs are populated with possible or allowed fields, and yeah, you can create field mappings, but also value mappings, so rich text, regex or user by email mapping. So this is all supported. You can define the direction if bidirectional or only one directional. So this is a good interface to create a mapping. Then the error handling. In the built-in solution there is no real error handling, so you can just see errors directly in the Codebeamer log file. This makes it a bit tricky in a running installation, because when an error occurs you need a system admin, and yeah, normal users cannot easily debug problems, and you have no error dashboard or something like this. In Jira Codebeamer connector you have a built-in error handling. So there are, as I said, this is an event-based approach, so if an event cannot be processed completely, so this means execution on the target fails or the mapping or something like this, then all events are not lost, they are registered, and they appear on this error page. And you see, in case of an error, you see the description. And there are also redo functionalities, so a manual run or automatic. Automatic comes in place if maybe your Jira was not available, or a network issue and the system is back, then the automatic redo will work. And yeah, you get a good overview, and you can also see all logs from the integration in the browser. So there's no need to open some log files or something like this. Scalability. As I said, the built-in solution is embedded in Codebeamer. So this just scales with your Codebeamer installation, and all the load is also executed on your Codebeamer. This is not the best approach, but this is how it is. So I would say there is no really a scalability concept for the integration itself. For Jira Codebeamer connector from Nanga, we have a message broker approach with the middleware. You can define fallback message brokers. As I said, this is Docker ready, and yeah, this also means you can use this with Kubernetes. So this solution scales a lot and is also built for really big installations. So let us summarize some of these aspects here. So default fields, both solutions can deal with it. Agile fields also, but sometimes a bit partial. Attachments, yes, both tools can support you with attachments. Comments is just available in the built-in solution, but coming soon for our solution. Links the same. For custom fields, we support all custom fields which are possible, and Codebeamer just partial, as I said. Cross-type mappings, Jira Codebeamer connector supports custom cross-type mappings, the built-in solution not. Sync into multiple trackers, scalability option, filters, event-based error, synchronizing, and error handling are supported. Also advanced radio mapping are also supported by the Jira Codebeamer connector. And in the future we plan to add some script radio mapping, so this is a very flexible way, so then you have no limitation at all to create mappings. But okay, this was the theory, but let us now jump to the tool and let's have a look on the Jira Codebeamer connector from Nanga. Okay, what we see here on the screen now is our integration main login interface. On the left side I have open our Jira project where we want to synchronize our items from Codebeamer. And here on this tab I have the Codebeamer tracker for user stories. And here, but now I will show you first our Jira Codebeamer connector. So we need to log in first, and then we have different tabs on the left side. The most important is the Syncs tab here. So here you can see all configured synchronizations. So you can create new synchronization configs here. So the first step is always to select a Jira project or Codebeamer project, and then also the type in Codebeamer tracker and so on. So as an example for the webinar, we have different types here in this project. And yeah, we can create a new mapping, but we won't do this because I already have created the mapping for our demo here. So this is the webinar demo. Inside the configuration we have also different tabs here. So the first one are the predicates, so the synchronization rules. Then we have the details. Yeah, we can also define a tracker item ID field inside these Jira user stories. Then the ID from the Codebeamer would be synchronized there, but this is completely optional and purely cosmetic. And the other way around, the same for the Codebeamer side. Inside the mappings, we can create different types of them. We will have a look into it in a few seconds. What I want to show you here is the entity tab, so all synchronizations based on this sync config will be registered here and shown here. Then we have the errors tab in case synchronization fails or an event is not completely processed. Then we will see an entry here. And the last button or tab is the clean cache, so you can clean up different caches here. Regarding the mapping, so you can create new run here. First step is to select a field from Jira and also a field on the Codebeamer side, and then the last step is to define direction. I can do it here, maybe the priority, and then it filter also the list to see only relevant opposite fields on the Codebeamer side, and then we can define our direction. In this case it already configured, therefore we cannot select something here. Yeah, as I said, it is already configured, the priority we wanted to add, and here we see a mapping, so we can map pick values here, We can add new ones. So for example, on Jira side it will be medium, but on the Codebeamer side we don't have medium, so we map it to normal. And yeah, the other radius works similar. You can click on save. And yeah, that's it more or less in the mapping. So it's quite simple. And when we jump to our Codebeamer user story tracker, then we can trigger synchronization. So maybe we can edit this one here and just add another acceptance criteria, and then we can click on save. Okay, this was not a good idea because it's already done, but maybe also on another one, maybe this, and save again. And now when we jump to our Jira project, then we see the synchronized elements. In this case, only the second one was synchronized because the previous one was already done. I have configured in this way. But yeah, when we jump back to our Jira Codebeamer connector to the user interface of the middleware, here we see arrows. Okay, in this case we don't have arrows. We can add additional users also, and you also can see some log files here. So here you see our operation and yeah, some more details about this operation. Okay, I think that's all, and we can jump to the next point in our presentation.